Here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is a ad hoc working group number 4 for our pre-launch conversations around AI Hacker House Academy. And join with me today is, and this is one of the things that made this special, is Drew, who we met through our kernel community, which is a peer learning cohort as well. But then also Drew for ETH Denver 2025. He actually got to stay in our pop-up hacker house here in North Glen. Would you like to do a quick intro, Drew, or do you just want to hop into the working group conversations here today?
So, hi everyone. Thanks, Yongs, for let's say attending to my request for a general quick discussion about topics. So, yeah, my name is Dhruv. I am based in France, and my expertise as is let's say researcher in Web3 space. I did masters in cybersecurity here, and then started delving deep into the technology, like especially how to build the infrastructures in Web3 space, building on top of use cases like DeFi protocols, stable coins, and then right now venturing more on the side of building agents, fine tuning language models. And so my interest into participating in ETH Denver, and especially meeting Yonks, was through this community where I called as Kernel, which is an offshoot of Gitcoin project, where I also do mentorship for projects that want guidance in the field of agents. So yeah, my visit in ETH Denver, and especially the Hacker House experience with the Yongs and Tyler, was superb. It was very let's say homely environment. At the same time, great meetups hosted with the local community members in Boulder, in Denver local. I really learned a lot of aspects, not like I usually come from technical background, but also the use cases that the Jason is Yonks is advocating for creating these circular economies, for utility-based economy, uh, like envisioning tokenomics more radically transparent, all these ideas, and especially how we can create this token economies powered by the agent ecosystem, uh, which is reliable, which helps actual working professionals in Web2 space in very abstract way, leveraging also Web3 technology and then AI. So yeah, I'm very much excited about this cohort, and that's why I'm keenly interested to help them create the curriculum to be as much knowledgeable as possible. So yeah, that's from my side. Hope, yeah, and thanks.
Yeah, no, fabulous. Thank you so much for that, Drew. That was very helpful and insightful. And one of the things, just to plant some conversation here, and this is one of the things that we actually just spoke about earlier today around our working group number 3, is creating a hacker house as a tokenized brand. And here we're talking about creating a peer learning cohort for real estate professionals. And this is one of the things that we will absolutely be having conversations. It's not something I really want to dig too deep in the weeds here in May, but we will be creating tokenomics and meritocracy or Hacker House, and we will absolutely, to be clear, we're going to be like, it's very clear, like in the goals for this, we're creating this as a high ticket item. We believe that this peer learning cohort is something that Tyler and I are personally going to spend the 497, and we're creating this a 497 a month. And this is something that we're planning to do. We had some conversations here about having it all be 497 US dollars or 497 pro tokens. This is something we've had conversations, all of us, around We Own Cash. When we get our WeOwn Cash token launched, we can add this as another option, potentially replacing the Pro token as the mechanism for buying our or participating in the cohort model. But anyway, I'm gonna hand it over to you, Drew. The three of us were already on a conversation earlier today, and we can help answer any questions as far as what we're looking to do. But I will let you start off by where you would like to see this conversation unfold here today.
Hello. Yeah, so
Yes.
my interest really came after when I saw the description by Tyler during the last conversation about the potential curriculum and how it's going to address the various use cases that agents can help real estate um, managers to, let's say, find better quality real estate properties, trying to do quantitative analysis about pricing and all, that stuff. And yeah, so as you are mentioning, like property search and buyer experience, um, virtual property tours that can also be done by, let's say, 3D modeling. Or right now there are tools, let's say, using nerve neural fields. This is a new project by NVIDIA, which can let you take like couple of pictures and create more realistic 3D view with, um, you know, with very realistic rendering without taking too much compute considerations. So all this, use cases that you have defined, that's great. Right now, how you will, like, my question was to go through this particular curriculum, understanding what are the prerequisites for people to attend this course so that they are able to follow through through this curriculum. There will be, let's say, associated projects or milestone projects for each module. And then what's the process for giving certificates, evaluation, so that people actually able to apply their skill set. We can also issue a capstone project, and if they are able to do, you just issue an NFT certificate for showcasing their showcasing that they have proof of completion. So
Okay,
Yeah,
I love that idea.
go ahead, Tyler.
I love that idea. So a couple things. One was, as far as the prerequisites go, if you are not a licensed realtor, it's not a requirement, but I don't know that the material will be super applicable to you. So one of the things that we were talking about was checking paperwork or using AI to check paperwork for errors. You're not a realtor, you're not doing any paperwork. Another section we were talking about was using AI for virtual staging and curb appeal and pointing out errors in the market or comparables. If you're not selling any houses, you don't know. I don't know that being a realtor would be a requirement. I just don't know that if you're not a realtor, a lot of the stuff would necessarily make sense to you. But on the flip side of that, if you are a developer or a flipper or a wholesaler or a lot of peripheral parts of real estate that do not require licensing, I think a lot of this stuff could really be applicable to you too. So I don't know that. I think the um, basic prerequisite would be a strong interest or a profession in real estate. If you're not, because you got to be committed to go through a 4-month program and spend the money on it. As far as the designation goes, I would love to issue an actual designation that people can use. And we hadn't thought about a capstone project, but I love that idea. I think that's brilliant. And it would be really interesting to see where people choose to go, especially if they are realtors who have active listings, or we could just give them a hypothetical listing or just say pick any listing and run it through. There's just lots of opportunities to make this work. So I think those ideas and questions are all super interesting.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I mean, if that clarification, thanks for that clarification. So in that case, they, like, we will have to, from our side, kind of curate the workflow of how to, let's say, help people create their workflows around agents. And if you have already gone through the research of how to use, traditional chat querying, the LLM services like ChatGPT and others, versus use of agentic services like how to say that, the maybe OpenAI, no, not OpenAI, like Deep Search, or you also have I forgot this, like famous tool that do browser search, like browser use, like which allows you to curate or do operations on multiple tabs of browser if you want to do a very detailed search. There are various tools to do this kind of querying. So we can, let's say, list these tools. We can provide some sort of this hands-on approach, saying that, okay, you need to create a prompt for doing this kind of research, create a methodology. You know what I'm saying? Like my idea is, then if people like already have that prerequisite, then for us it's pretty much easier. We know how to then just, um, let's say, teach them how to be more, let's say, like best practices to apply, like writing those prompts and doing activities in order to make agents more precise.
Yeah,
So,
and my hope, Drew, is that we actually take the requirement for a real estate professional to do prompt engineering and really embrace AI agency. And I've actually got here like because one of the things that the more technical of us within our pre-launch core team, is to like we own dev is this is something that I would really like us to do this week. And right now planning to use Google Cloud infrastructure. But one of the things that really want to do here for like one of the main benefits right here, own your own AI agency infrastructure provided by WeOwn.Network. So we need to get where we like an initial model that we can begin deploying. Because like over here in the weekly schedule, one of the things that I've got is set up cloud infrastructure. Not sure what this will look like yet, but this is like one of the things talking about like our go-to-market strategy that we had a lot of conversations around with my IRA. We can set the expectations here, and it can be a little bit clunky because like I think a lot of people can appreciate that AI agents, we're still really early, and this will really provide here because you think about like here's May. We basically got about 1 month before June 3rd, 4 weeks, 4 weeks from tomorrow, actually, for our first planned cohort conversation with the AI Hacker House Academy for Real Estate Professionals. So, like one of the other things too, one of the benefits of this peer learning cohort with Hacker House, one of the tools that we're going to be creating and teaching and educating here is a brand new pipeline around Hacker House. And this is something that we can incorporate into our American Dream campaign and have over here at dream.weown.network. And this is like, because like one of the things that Tyler put forward on creating the curriculum is marketing and lead generation. So this is where we can really incorporate this American Dream campaign and then bring the AI agency tooling and help create this brand new pipeline surrounding hacker houses and the American Dream campaign that these real estate professionals don't have currently. And then that's where that will really amplify the big value proposition. Because one of the things that we're seriously contemplating doing, because you can attest this $2,000 price point, $497 a month. One of the things that we will advocate is that, like, say, within 6 months after completing our cohort, if you haven't done at least one Hacker House deal, we'll give you your $2,000 back. I'm so confident that you think about like here in Colorado or pretty much any market that we're doing business in, if you do one new deal as a real estate professional, you'll more than make $2,000. And this is where we will have unsubstantiated proof that the deal is a Hacker House deal, because Hacker House is an ecosystem brand that we're proliferating a P token asset. So I'm seeing a thumbs up from Drew, and that's kind of like the ideology that I want to put, is how that we can really make this a peer learning cohort, but then also like the opportunity to really create some feedback. Like one of the things that we talked about here earlier, create a D form for a wait list. And obviously this is now going to be working group number 5, because this is working group number 4 here right now as an ad hoc. And I'm actually going to have create a D form for feedback, what to include in this first cohort. Because one of the other things too that's worth mentioning is, besides the opportunity of participating in the peer learning cohort, and I'm not sure where I should capture this. Let's see here.
So, quick
Go ahead, Drew.
question I have. So the real estate, like people who are gonna join, are they part of certain big groups of REITs? How does that work? Let's say in Denver or Colorado region, do you have, let's say, there are certain OTT channels that you see, in big cities like in Toronto or others. You have these groups that do very, elaborate listings of houses, penthouses, things like that, and they are big groups. And then you have individual freelancing, cohorts. Like it's just a question for Tyler to understand, like niche of this market.
Well, and one thing that's worth mentioning is that we're focused on 4 MSAs, metro areas here in the United States: Denver, the greater Denver Boulder area, Twin Cities, which includes Minneapolis and St. Paul in Minnesota, upstate New York, Rochester, Ithaca, Syracuse, Buffalo, and then Chicago area. So those are 4 geographic areas. Not going to unpack why that we're targeting those. And then one of the other things that we did earlier, our go-to-market strategy, ideal avatars for this cohort. I just added this one during our conversation here. One of the things that happens in May is that students graduate from college. So the opportunity, there might be people that are participating at the CU Boulder. Boulder is at the top of where we're wanting to have a Hacker House. Like, just to go off on a quick tangent, we actually have, and let me actually just go to hackerhouse.net, which is our link tree right now. And the Google Doc here is College Hacker House, Buff Style Hacker House. And this is something that we, and whether it's here this fall or 2026, we absolutely want to put a Hacker House online, a college Hacker House in the Boulder area. So anyway, getting back to our pre-launch conversation. So one of the things that we need to do is set up a time. Don't want to get this knocked off here today, but whether it's tomorrow, need to deploy, and I'm going to put in here, create Google Cloud infrastructure that will ultimately become, and this is something that, again, I'll put that in our WeOwn Dev side chat, Drew, so that we can figure out the best time to do the setting up the Google Cloud infrastructure for anybody that wants to be on that conversation.
Okay. Just quick overview. So in that case, you want also, like, let's say, a setup agent space, which is their prime offering for defining agents with custom, memory, custom planning strategy, or all the, technical aspect to build more reliable domain specific agents. And you also want to host website and curriculum on Google Cloud. And second question, quick, is like, do you have credits for that?
So I think that we do have an opportunity with our mercury.com stuff that we have. like we're funneling a lot of our expenses through We Own Labs, formerly known as Web3 Freedom Club. So that's something that I'll take a look at as far as the Google Cloud credits. And the vision here is to have several mechanisms. One of which is we're wanting to deploy an environment that will allow the individuals or the small business, because you think about like real estate professionals. A lot of real estate professionals that are very successful may have a small team like assistants, virtual assistants, or whomever to assist, and that's part of the goal of what we're wanting to do with AI agency, is to amplify those abilities with their own AI agents. So we're wanting to get that deployed. I've talked a lot about anything LLM. This is something that I want to personally experiment, and anything LLM has a Docker container that can be deployed here, run via Docker for free. So this is another opportunity that I'm really wanting to deploy within the cloud infrastructure to experiment with. And this is likely something that we'll include. And I'm actually just going to include a weekly schedule here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, anything LLM can be great. If I was just wanted to understand, because if you are going to use these Dockerized application, the complexity will come in terms of implementing scalable, deployment for multiple participants. So, in order to abstract this complexity, I was thinking that we might use no code building tools on Google Cloud like Agent Space for developers, and then guiding them through the modules to how to build their own functioning, real estate helper
I
agent. Yeah.
I think that we need to abstract away most of the development aspects for what we're going to be providing and make it where we can assist with deploying tools. That's something that I'm very open to, because that will largely depend on who we bring in for this first cohort. And this is something that and just to amplify, I just updated my calendar with Hacker House here, cal.com. And I'll continue to share that. I'll actually add my link here to the link tree so that somebody can grab a time on my calendar. And this is where, creating these feedback loops where we can really design this for the people that will be participating in this first cohort model. Um, uh, so that's kind of my thoughts, is that really, and it'll depend a lot on how technical that the people are that are coming through this. I am personally not great at prompt engineering. That doesn't mean that I can't learn. And maybe we should even have, like, we've got 4 months to go through here. Like one of the things that's been on my radar is the Coursera course for prompt engineering. Have you gone through this one, Drew?
Yeah, but I have shared in the message the two resources that are very extensive, at the same time less time consuming than like two more precise to the point description of various concept, reasoning, chain of thought, or other techniques. I mean, if we are able to channelize this these two courses into modules specific for real estate, like cohort that we are going to build, that's going to be already a great start. I mean, apart from these courses, we will also have to do add additional concepts about agents, because um, agents is more than prompt engineering. It's also about understanding the discussions, the patterns of how your particular agent can understand your signature of doing research about potential listings or certain pattern understanding, and then kind of planning for the client to give better results or execute better strategy to achieve the results. So I think what I want to say, it's prompt engineering is one of the subsection, but there are other aspects also we need to add. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that will depend, again, on the technical expertise. And this is one of the things that I think will be very beneficial, going back to like creating a deform for feedback, what to include in this first cohort, technical expertise, i.e. scale of 1 to 10. And this is where, getting good feedback will provide a lot of, I think, indication as far as how that we want to structure this cohort as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, in any case, I am currently assisting a project for creating agents with reasoning. So, in terms of technical expertise, once you get feedback from potential people interested, yeah, I can accordingly structure, help you structure the course attributed to the particular category of people that are going to participate.
Great. And I added those two things that you provided here, Drew, to the weekly schedule subtab under curriculum ideas. And it looks like that this is prompt engineering.
And yeah, and I think in terms of agent specific, newsletters, I'm gonna share also additional details.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I think that this has been helpful here, and like I said, we'll take offline the conversation around getting Google Cloud infrastructure created so that we can begin building our agentic AI framework for our ecosystem, which will absolutely include super agents, but then more importantly for individuals, real estate professionals, small real estate teams, build out the opportunity for AI agency that they will actually own that infrastructure and have composability. And all indications are is that the timing is very good here in May. I am increasingly seeing standards and protocols. I was actually watching the agentic commerce protocol conversation that Coinbase facilitated that had somebody from virtuals.io. And for those people that aren't familiar with virtuals.io, this is a potential opportunity with like our AI agent brand to potentially, if the cooperative members say, hey, let's put our AI agent brand, whatever we coalesce around, it may make sense. Like here's one, RWAI, speculating that this has something to do with real world assets. I don't know anything about this project.
Well, I would be kind of well, not skeptic, but I will like do detailed research, especially specifically for projects that are coming on virtuals and related to RWA. But that's my personal opinion. I'm not gonna impose. Also, like the most important current standards that are being used in agents that kind of makes it much more modular and much more extensible is use of model context protocol and agent to agent communication, for which was another let's say alternative protocol that was defined by Google. These two, if we are able to let's say educate our during our cohort, it's perfect, I would say. So I think
And to add to that, you mentioned A2A and MCP, also going to put in here Kafka and Flink, the new stack for AI agents. So
well, yeah, I mean, Kafka is more like kind of event driven protocol which tries to sequence all the requests on the cloud. So yeah, I think it's just a kind of way of servicing the requests. So no, that's a good article. Thanks for referring.
Yeah, and that was something that just pulled here from our AIagents.box, and this is something that Telegram is pretty noisy. Speaking of Hacker House, one of the things that we created earlier today, and this is another call to action: join our Common Ground community, app.cg/c/hackerhouse. And this is where we're going to be moving these conversations. Literally just launched this Common Ground community here within the last 24 hours. So anyway, appreciate you hopping on, everybody, last minute here to have our conversation. We will still do our conversation later tonight. And just so that we know, Drew, we would like to have these conversations at a morning time, Eastern time. What's a good time to get these so that we can be sure that you can participate?
I mean, anything after 11 a.m. Morning MDT, I guess, because here it will corresponds to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. At that time, I'm like done for the day. I can take calls. But yeah, if it's at night, like 10, 11 p.m., for me, it's like 4, 5 a.m. in the morning.
Sure. So we'll target. I'll take a look at the calendar and get that on there for tomorrow, and then the other one too. Like I said, want to get the Google Cloud infrastructure in place so that we can start experimenting and deploying in our environment, because this is, we're all learning here, and the more that we can start getting some of these things in place, some of our ecosystem super agents and stuff like that, but also get the infrastructure in place for our community. The other thing too, talking about some infrastructure, we're going through the conversation with Unicorn, and let me actually see if I have that window open real quick. And this is what we're looking at for account abstraction. Okay, here is the my community. So here's a little sneak peek of our community for WeOwn.Network, and the plan is to put this on WeOwn.app on a custom domain. We went through this process. Let me open up a incognito unicorn.eth. Doesn't work here. Should redirect. So myunicornaccount.com. This is an account abstraction, and hopefully we'll see if we get this online. But this was a little sneak peek for WeOwn Cash, and one of the things created the DApp for our Luma calendar. This is what it looks like in a preview, a mobile preview. And this still isn't live, but this is something that we just configured and onboarded with. There's our snapshot proposal, or our governance proposal for WeOwn.Network. So we'll see what this looks like, and if this will meet our ecosystem needs for account abstraction. And I know that we've had some conversations around that, Drew, in the past. So that's one of the top priorities that we're all, besides the Google Cloud infrastructure, getting the account abstraction infrastructure, because there's a high degree of probability or possibility that the real estate professionals that onboard through this may not be Web3 natives. But that's a choice that we could make. We could make this just for Web3 natives, but that's something that we can think about, and we'll pick that up later. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share here. Thanks everybody for hopping on. Does anybody have any closing thoughts that we can think about between now and our working group? Our 5th working group here will be back in I don't know, 7 hours or so, a little less than 7 hours, and we'll get this scheduled so that it can be more inclusive for you and your time across the pond there in Paris.
Yeah, so the last question is, I saw like, not question, like I checked out that in the GitHub organization repository, you have start adding the specifications, so that's a good thing. So I'm gonna follow up those specifications for the diagrams, I guess, which are mentioned to diagrams to support WeOwn.Network. There has been description of user journey for American Dream campaign. So I think yeah, so we can surely structure up this way, contribute on our GitHub repository to showcase our, structure, our code, our implementation for even Hacker House content and things like that. So yeah, that was my just quick feedback.
Yeah, nice. And we definitely need to update the user journey, and then the opportunity for that to get more detailed with things like going through the account abstraction, and whether that's with Unicorn, or it will likely right now end up, that functionality will end up at WeOwn.app, but that's something that we can work on getting defined, and then just guiding people through the process, because the easier that we make this for people and the less confusing, and then just focus on one thing, because the way that I'm positioning AI agents, simple, one word, results. And you ask people if they want more results, I think most people will say, yes, I would love more results in my life. Alrighty, well, thanks everybody. Until next time, love what we're building here. Very excited about getting the clarity to launch our ecosystem here in Q2 of 2025.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye, guys. Nice seeing you, Drew.
Likewise.